G'day everyone, and welcome back to a video. Finally, it's been a little bit too long, let's be honest. It's been a couple of weeks now since I last put a video out. I've just been absolutely swamped with work at the moment. I just got a new job, and they're pretty much asking me to do full-time hours already, so you know, yay for me, and yay for my bank account, but not yay for YouTube videos. So here we go. Here's some content I recorded like 3 weeks ago in a video now. So this is from the same week actually as the previous video around Interlagos, where we were testing out some Group 3 cars around there. This is actually the Race C for that very same week. So Race C, obviously, you know what that means. Fuel and tyre wear. So this video is very much about the tyre wear that I experienced around this track. So the track in question, Tokyo Expressway, the East Outer Loop variation. It's a day one track, original Gran Turismo track. It's not a real life circuit, although it is based on a real life location, that being Tokyo, obviously. Yeah, so obviously being introduced when the game was first released. It's a 7.3 kilometer track with the monster straight. Look at that, and pretty much near enough 2 kilometer long straight where you'll see some serious slipstreaming happening. So bit of alliteration there, but here we go. So this was my best qualifying lap actually. You'll see it was done in chase cam, because that's what I used to use when I first got the game. So I thought, well, I'm having a bit of trouble with qualifying, so I thought I'd use chase cam. But you'll see down at this corner here, what's that? A tap of handbrake. A true professional you're seeing here. I'm practically Cody Latkovsky, pretty much. Could you just see that handbrake? Oh my goodness, so much skill. So you see, as a result of that, I'm gaining all the way down the straight here, thanks to the handbrake, which just over-rotates the car, which is exactly what you need down at a hairpin. So here we go, 1.1 seconds up on my previous best lap, which was a 209.6 in this case. There we go, as I cross the line, 208.4. So that was my best qualifying lap actually, and that put me, if I do remember correctly, it did put me in the top 100 for the Oceania region. So you'll see my first race I did here, I am second with that brand new qualifying time, and behind Seal Wolf there. So he's going to feature quite heavily in this video, and you'll notice his rating is EB. He's brand new. He just got this game today, or 3 weeks ago when I recorded the footage here. But he's got quite a respectable time of 207.8. That's quite good, especially for an EB rated player actually. But yeah, so I was in second place there. So here we go, starting the race now. So you'll see the grid lined up here. You're going to see some serious slipstreaming happening down the straight here. And there's the standings once again. So you see there's actually quite a lot of Hurricanes, which is the car of choice here. So the Hurricane, it was again introduced upon release of the game here. 404 horsepower stock, although BOP changes that slightly. You can buy it for 350,000 credits, which is the exact same as any other Group 4 car. Of course, Group 4 being based on FIA GT4 regulations. So here we go, starting the race now. As you can see, we immediately move into Seal Wolf's slipstream here. So we're now four tenths behind, and we've immediately gained a tenth, just by virtue of moving into a slipstream straight away under acceleration. So you see we're making the gap up here, and then this here is a prime example of why sometimes it is actually better to qualify second, especially at the end of a very long straight at the start of a circuit. So here we are coming towards turn 1. We did actually overhaul Seal Wolf at this point. We actually got a tenth ahead as we brake just after the 100 board, going into turn 1 here. Coming around, that's actually quite a misleading corner. You think it's a lot shorter, I suppose, than it initially looks, and then it just continues on. You can go into the wall if you're not careful. So we come through the next section now, turns 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, apart from turns 5 and 6, which is the chicane coming up just now, and turn 10, as I'll point out when we go through there, it's pretty much flat out. You've got to get your line dead right, but if you do that, then you've got no problem being flat out. So this corner is not corner, not turn 10. So you can just see I'm a bit scrappy through here, just slightly grazing the walls. Now this is turn 10 here, so it's not quite flat. You do have to brake and go down a couple of gears because you want to hug that right hand wall as close as you can so you can get a good sweeping line through turn 11, which leads down into the straight down to the hairpin. So this is actually a very important section here, because if you mess up turns 10 and 11, a car can gain through here and then will be in your slipstream for the entire 2-kilometre run down the straight, which is not what you want, as we just Cody Latkovsky it once again at the hairpin. A little bit too much this time actually. We did lose a couple of tenths. So now as we fast forward down the straight, just have a look at that gap. So Sealwolf actually did get a better run off that hairpin than me, and you can see that he's gaining only slightly. That slight gain tells me it was by virtue of a better run off turn 12 there, and not slipstream, which only comes into effect around say 9 tenths, 8 tenths, 9 tenths. But you can see here in turn 8, I did decide to go for a bit of an excursion into the wall, which is, you know, I thought, you know, I had the time, why not see what the wall tastes like? So I did that and ended up losing an entire second. So now Sealwolf is 6 tenths behind, and you can see, as I was talking about before, he's now going to gain down this straight, bringing him close for the hairpin. Although I did look behind there, he's got a 4.9 second penalty, so I do suspect that he may have followed me into the wall after turn 8, or he got the turns 5, 6 chicane wrong. But I'm not quite sure what happened there, but you can see we're now coming around the hairpin. We get the power down nice and early, did go run a touch wide on the exit of turn 12, actually, not very desirable. So we're coming down the straight now. He's 6 tenths behind, so this is exactly what I was talking about. You see how much time he gains, as he's now gained up to 5 tenths, and it'll soon be 4. There we go, it's 4 now. I try to dummy him into the pits. I've never decided that would work at all, but we're 3 tenths now. So at this point, I kind of just I have accepted the point that the fact that he's going to pass me, but instead he does go into my back left quarter panel instead, giving me a nice boost up the straight. So I can see what he's doing. He wants to work together to break away from the rest of the cars behind, but you just see as we skip a lap there into turn 1 of lap 4, there was a ghosted back marker. So it's a very good thing of Gran Turismo, ghosting out back markers there so they don't affect the front runners' races when they inevitably decide to give up and just stop in the middle of the track, as we saw there. So at this point, Sealwolf, he's 1 tenth behind. I managed to overtake him as we come through here. So you can see now, look at the tyres down there as we just get the chicane slightly wrong, and Sealwolf absolutely pounces on the opportunity there as he goes through, showcasing his 4.2 second penalty. So you can see straight away he's gained up to 8 tenths on me for my one mistake. So that's the bad thing about this section here, and when you make a mistake you lose so much time just because it's so quickly. Now what I was going to say before about the tyres, look how bad my tyre wear is. It got front left is absolutely dying, committing die as we speak. It's half worn already. So the tyre strategy, obviously you can use medium tyres, which is what I'm on. It's the quicker tyre because it's a softer compound, but race C generally you can choose between hard and medium racing tyres. This, obviously the optimum strategy is medium tyres with no stop. Fuel is not an issue at all, don't even know why they bother, but yeah, but you can see I'm not making the most of my tyres here at the moment, as I'm absolutely murdering them every single time I touch one of the controls on here. It just goes down to 0 basically. And speaking of things going down to 0, my grip at the moment has led me into the clutches of 3rd place, so that's not where I wanted to be, especially after qualifying 2nd and getting into the lead so early. Initially my thoughts, get into the lead and pull away and win from there, but the tyres not holding up underneath the 4-wheel drive Hurricane here. So we're now deciding to go into the wall and get ourselves a 4.9 second penalty, so I do suspect that may be what Sealwolf did. a few laps ago, just before he passed me. But yeah, you can see the guy behind now is 1.2 seconds, and you'll see around this corner here it's now 1.1 seconds, and it's soon to be 0.9 seconds, which is not what I want, especially coming through turns 10 and 11 onto the little straight down before the hairpin. So I absolutely do not want the Jap behind in my slipstream for the 2 kilometre run, especially this close to the end of the race. So as we're coming down towards the hairpin now, you can see he's now 5/10 behind as we hit our braking point at the shadow now, although it does prove to go... Actually no, I did hit that quite nicely. I thought I went a little bit deep, but I didn't, which is good obviously, as we just hit the wall on the way out, and you can see that the Jap behind is now catching firmly in the slipstream. He's also got himself a 2.8 second penalty, although I do... because my penalty's larger, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat him at this point. So now, lap 7 basically is me consolidating the 3rd place that's soon to be. Obviously not in 3rd place just yet, as he seems to be catching. He doesn't have quite the same ideas as Sealwolf, pushing me along, as he does use the slipstream to overtake. And you can see I get immediately back into his slipstream, so the straight here is so long, you can slipstream past someone, and then they can slipstream past you immediately after, just because it's so long. So you can see we're alongside for turn 1 now. This isn't good, so I just run slightly deep to give him space on the inside, but that compromises my run through the whole corner, and he ends up going back ahead. So at this point I kiss 2nd place goodbye and immediately look to the board to see that Hulk beats Thor is 10 seconds behind me. So I decided that 3rd place is probably where I'm going to finish now. I didn't really want... Well, actually, frankly, I would have been quite embarrassed if 4th place caught me up here. We brake nice and early for the chicane here. Now, that chicane, it feels really nice when you get it right, but nothing is feeling very nice at the moment, with tyre wear practically being at 100. As we just come round turn 8 now in the final corner. So at this point here, you can see like the gap between me and Hulk beats Thor, 9.7 seconds, which is essentially the same as it was at the start of the lap here. So I do suspect he has similar tyre wear to me, assuming that we drive exactly the same. But yeah, so it was good to see that I'm not a terrible driver and it's just tyre wear at the moment. And you'll see coming around the hairpin for the last time, I decide to go a little bit deep, and by a little bit I mean a lot, as we knock over the cones of the track limits up there, although that does extend the gap to Hulk Big Thor to over 10 seconds now, so he's obviously not having a very good time back there. But the focus is now turned to the penalty now, as I do want to serve it before going over the line, sorry. That will round up to 5 seconds, and I don't want that to appear in the lobby afterwards. So as you can see, we're braking now way before the line. Don't want any risk of everyone seeing my penalty afterwards, as we now cross the line for 3rd place. So you can see top 8, aside from 5th place at the moment in the Hurricane. Oh no, 6th place as he drops down, as he decided to finish with a large number of penalties. So he was not having a good time. He must have been slamming into walls and such. But yeah, there we go. So top 5 now is in the Hurricane. So obviously that being very strong evidence for the Hurricane being the best car at the moment, or for this race. But you can see down the back, like there's a TT, GTR, NSX, actually another couple of GTRs, couple of Nissans down there. So it's quite clear what the dominant car is here. It's obviously the Hurricane, but obviously the tyres, for my driving style, not being optimum for this race here. So there we go, confirmation of 3rd place there. Another thing to notice, I actually did have the number 1 on my car, so that was correct for the first portion of the race, sorry. But at this point here, as you can see, I'm starting to join the next session. So this was the race immediately after. So my main takeaway from that race before is that the medium tyres aren't suiting me too well, and I dropped off towards lap 2, I suppose. I started to struggle a bit. So I decided to go again. You can see we've got Sealwolf again, but this time I decided to go for the hard tyres, racing hard. So it is based on the data given in the Gran Turismo live streams of the live esports events. It's probably about 1 to 1.5 seconds slower a lap, assuming that tyre wear between the hard and the mediums are exactly the same. But you can see down there now RH instead of RM above and below the little car icon with the 4 bars representing tyres. So I've decided to go on the hard tyre now. I did know at this point that for the first couple of laps I would be getting past, but then the idea is later in the race I would then catch everyone else on their worst worn medium tyres. That's the idea, again a no stop, but that's the idea of me choosing racing hards here. But we start in third, so not quite as good as starting in second, as the guy you're slipstreaming in third place also has the slipstream of the guy in front of him, so you're probably not going to catch, or I'm probably not going to catch Sealwolf as quickly this time. Quite evident here, presented by me not catching Sealwolf as quickly. But yeah, he goes back to his old tactic of bump drafting the guy in front, so that's good. I do want to break away from the pack behind, as it gets absolutely murdered into the wall by, I'm not quite sure who that was, but it was a red Hurricane. But I decided to squeeze him into the wall. That was quite dirty, and it warrants my penalty that I got there. I decided to serve it immediately to let Sealwolf back past, but I did actually want to let ABC back past after that, but he dropped off too much. But I suppose that's not good sportsmanship there. But I don't know, I got a penalty for it, so I'm going to serve my punishment at some point. It was just an accident, didn't do it on purpose, but you can see now, Zia, he was the guy who punted Sealwolf into turn 1, actually. So you can see he's gotten to first place because of all the battling that's going on at the moment. You can see I get overhauled here by ABC again, so I did actually want him to get back ahead of me. It wasn't fair that I pinched him into that wall there and went for the stop, but I do imagine that everyone passing me is by virtue of my hard tyres as opposed to their brand spanking new medium tyres as we come down towards the hairpin. So you see the difference in braking now. I did brake slightly earlier than I would on a medium tyre, but you can see both Sealwolf and Zia went way deep. So Sealwolf finds himself in 6th place, which is, you know, he is EB, but he did a race just before, and he was quite a strong contender, ended up winning it, actually. So here we are, on the straight now, we're firmly in ABC slipstream again. I'm going to do a retake of this again, trying to overtake him fairly on the straight using slipstream here. So you can see, because he hasn't got slipstream now at the moment, that I sail right past him into first place. But he tries to slot in right behind. You can see down on the radar they're jostling a bit, him and Zia. Let's see what chaos ensues in turn 1 here. It's all getting quite close. I move over to the right hand side to go defensive. I decide to go slightly deep and slide into the outer wall, serve a bit of my penalty, and ABC finds himself back past. Now Zia, what tried to go between me and the wall on the left hand side of me and ended up going into the back, and then it just all got a bit messy through turn 2 there. So now I'm finding myself in 4th place, which obviously isn't optimal considering that I did qualify 3rd, but at this point you can see the tyres, so pretty much barely any tyre wear at the moment for me. But yeah, I'm sitting back in 4th place, over 5 seconds worth of penalties, not where I wanted to be at the moment. But we skip ahead, end of lap 3 at the moment, still got the same amount of penalty here, but you can see that the gap, or actually the gap behind to Sealwolf is 0.3 seconds, although he makes a bit of a mistake on the braking and ends up going to 0.7, but now at 0.5 as we're starting the straight here, so he's firmly in the slipstream. I'm curious to see what he does here, actually. Does he bump draft, or does he sail right past? I don't quite remember what he does here, but he's following my slipstream, and I'm not quite sure why I was swerving at the moment, because I want slipstream, obviously. But yeah, so we're here 0.1 seconds behind, so here we go. He is bump drafting me, which is exactly what I wanted at the moment. So you can see the gap now between me and third place, me and Zia. 1.7 goes down to 1.6 after a little tap behind. So the bump drafting transfers the energy, the kinetic energy he gains from my slipstream to me, so I gain off my own slipstream, which is good. As we skip halfway through lap 4 here, you can see Sealwolf overtakes me immediately. So I'm obviously not quite up to the same level of driving he is. Maybe he had previous experience, or maybe this is a new account for him, because he's quite good for an EB player, I'm not gonna lie. As him and Zia once again go deep into turn 12. So he likes to follow Zia around, but here we go, we're in the slipstream now, it's my turn now. So you can see we're 2/10. I'm 2/10 behind him, now 1/10, now less than a tenth, and instead of going for the bump draft, I go straight past him, because at this point I wanted positions, and I knew I'd get the slipstream of 0 at the moment, although I'm not quite getting the full effect of it, just because I'm 9/10 back instead of the optimal 7 to 8 tenths. So we're at lap 5 now. The hard tyres, so you can see the wear at the moment isn't quite as bad as it was in the mediums. Just a word on that, actually, I do suspect that the tyre wear, or exaggerated tyre wear, especially at the front left, of course this being a clockwise circuit, your left tyres are going to get more worn than your right. That combined with every time I brake, the wheels lock up, just because I've got ABS set on weak. So my thinking behind that is that I want to brake as late as possible, so I want my braking force to be as strong as possible. Having ABS on weak allows that to happen, because ABS cuts out braking or does some complicated electronic thing to stop the brakes from locking up, but the braking is just so strong that the front tyres do start to lose traction with the road, and I do start to slide. So I think that was wearing out the tyres a lot faster than what ABS default would be. And for the record, the time of this recording, this audio recording, I have turned ABS to default, so you'll see in a video sometime within a decade. So you can see just at the moment, you can see Zia goes right into the barrels on the inside of turn 12, as the guy now in third place decides to go deep, giving him actually a better run onto the straight. So that is actually a valid strategy, going deep into turn 12, meaning you can get a longer kind of acceleration point off turn 12, so that's proved good for him as he's now jostling. But you can see it by the end of the straight, we did start catching up, but he's got 14.7 seconds worth of penalty as Zia slides wide with his 16 seconds, so it just gets a bit messy as the guy in second pinches Zia, he slows down and I go into the back of him, but then Zia by his own accord decides to go wide, and I end up getting the position into third place. So you can see ABC, he's quite, rightly got first place, which is where he should be. He qualified first, and even by my stupid driving in lap 1 pinching him into the wall, he still has managed to get back up into first place. So you can see at the moment I've actually overtaken the guy in third at the moment and gone into second. So this is the final lap now. Now my main strategy here is to keep second place, obviously, and that would mean I went up a position, and that would mean the hard tyres have served exactly what I want them to do. But I'm looking at the penalty at the moment. I've got 5.1. I didn't quite catch how much he had left, although I know he did have around 17 about a lap ago, but he's right on my tail, so I was actually feeling the pressure here at the moment. I really didn't want to make a mistake and for him to overtake me, especially being 1/10. Now the idea is that I don't slide wide and do that again, and now attract the attention of Sealwolf in the process, so now drop into fourth. That's not good, although they both got massive penalties. I think Sealwolf had 20 something seconds worth of penalty, absolutely crazy. But what I was going to say before is the idea is that I was going to pull ahead and not get the slipstream, and then not allow the guy behind me to get the slipstream down the straight just before the line. But you can see at the moment Marabou has got himself another penalty. He's got 19.6 seconds worth of penalties at the moment, and I've got my measly 5.1. But, so this is actually the final corner now. Heading down here, hit the braking point just at the shadow, and it was actually slightly too late thanks to the tyre wear at the moment. But yeah, I decided to get a really bad exit and slide into the wall on the outside, which is really not what I wanted at the moment. So here I am struggling, 1.1 seconds behind. Now just think, if I got a good run off that corner, I would have the slipstream at the moment and probably overhaul them by the end here. But we'll see just how the penalties work out. I changed to chase cam so I can see the line it's going to break as late as possible. Not sure why. The guy behind has quite a large gap on me, but I didn't serve it properly. But I did end up overtaking Marabou with his 20 seconds worth of penalties, so I did get myself a third place, which I suppose is okay considering some of the chaos that happened during that race there. But yeah, there we go, a third place. We get a podium, started third, finished third, so the race was actually a waste of time, to be honest. But yeah, I suppose the hard tyres proving to be the better strategy, especially for me on my driving style and my stupid decision to have ABS on weak. So there we go. You can see actually we got a Cayman, Porsche Cayman in 5th place. So that's actually quite a solid handling car, so it doesn't quite suit this circuit, but fair play to get it into 5th place there. So there we go, confirmation of 3rd, and I finished above my car number, which was number 4, which means DR goes up. Speaking of DR, why don't you check out my stats on Kudosprime, linked in the description below, to see my stats, I guess. Some other interesting things about my racing there, but yeah, that'll be the end of the video at the moment. Now, I'm very sorry for not uploading. It's been quite crazy with work, but I'm going to try and get a video out. I've still got another Interlagos video from 3 weeks ago, and I've got a video of a first place. Or not, maybe I don't. But that's the end of the video at the moment. I do hope you enjoyed. It was a long one today. I had 2 races to show you, 20 minutes each, so I had to cut that down from 40 minutes to, I guess, 30 minutes is what the video is going to be. Obviously only 10 minutes of uninteresting driving to leave you with 30 minutes of mildly interesting driving and terrible commentary. But that's it. I do hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button if you did, actually. I'm looking for that, you know. Like it if you like it. Don't dislike it, actually. No, you have to like it, please. And then do subscribe if you want to see more. But that's it from me at the moment. I'll get the Interlagos video out as soon as possible, and then see another interesting video if you saw the latest post on the Instagram, also linked in the description. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. See you later.